He's pretty much manipulating the loyalty of his base to make government bigger. This is not a scripted episode, so I don't know really what I'm doing, but Marjorie Taylor Greene just dropped a must-read letter on X, and we must read it. And so I figured we should do it together. Welcome to another episode of Political Newbie. I am Noah Clark, and this is a space for newbies to politics like me, an average citizen waking up from a dream and trying to make sense of the mess that I find myself in, and I thank you for joining me on what a mess I have found myself in. I don't even know if I'm awake, and I don't even know if I'm making any sense of the mess, because it's so messy. So I am here. I'm just dropping by really quickly. This is not a scripted episode, so I don't know really what I'm doing, but Marjorie Taylor Greene just dropped a must-read letter on X, and we must read it. And so I figured we should do it together. So I'm going to just jump right in. The Senate needs to pull the section in the big, beautiful bill that destroys federalism for 10 years to allow AI to run rampant. 40 state attorney generals wrote a letter demanding the unprecedented federal power grab be removed from the one big, beautiful bill. 40 state attorney generals. Notably missing is Georgia's Attorney General Chris Carr. Fatal mistake for a Republican governor candidate, by the way. AI is going to replace mass amounts of human jobs in nearly every job sector over the next 10 years, which will lead to massive unemployment, and that leads to poverty and ultimately death because there will be no other jobs to find. How do you keep a roof over your head and feed your family without a paycheck? You can't. This will make the last 40 years of losing manufacturing jobs to foreign countries look like nothing, as unemployment rates will reach levels never seen before in U.S. history. States must have the right to either be wide open and AI-friendly, recruiting AI tech companies to their states, or AI shut, defending human rights, jobs, and safety from an AI and robotic takeover, or somewhere in between. Americans must be allowed to choose which state they want to live in the future, as AI changes everything, and the federal government has no right to force every state to be compliant and the same and homogenous. Otherwise, we are not free at all. Brett Guthrie, chair of ENC, I don't know what that is, by the way, apologized to me yesterday for not briefing us on this little section in the over 1,000-page bill about what the AI lobby is pushing for in order to compete with China. By the way, if you want to compete with China, then do it in our American framework that supports how our country was founded, which is on federalism, supporting state rights and not big federal power. Otherwise, America is no different from China. Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment here, a little pause. All the MAGA people are just like, Donald Trump is the GOAT and he is making government smaller and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he is literally making government infinitely large in front of your face. This blanket immunity that he's giving AI companies, including Palantir, which is the company right now killing civilians in Gaza, is going to create that dictatorship model that they have been salivating for this entire time. I would say probably since the 50s or earlier, I don't know. But is it really possible to be that programmed? I see it with the Zionists, right? They are totally brainwashed. You can't penetrate whatever ounce of empathy they ever had. It's gone. Whatever sense of reasoning they have, it's gone when it comes to Israel. I don't know what the obsession is. Maybe it has to do with religion. I have no idea. But the MAGA people, what is wrong with them? Anyway, the one big, beautiful bill is supposed to be about delivering President Trump's campaign promises on taxes, America First energy, and sweeping border security, not destroying state rights for the AI industry or the NYSALT caucus lining their rich Democrat states' pockets or anyone else's pet projects. This is what the one big, beautiful bill is about. Everybody's pet projects. It's the elitist dream. And they just tried to rush it through so that no one had a chance to read it. Thankfully, Elon freed the bird and everybody was on it like white on rice in 2 seconds. People shredded up this 1,000-page bill and found all this weird shit that was like hiding in it. Elon called it porky yesterday in his Twitter rants. I don't know if everybody knows about that, but Elon exploded on X yesterday and he put forward a vote to the American people to ask if we wanted a third party. And about 5.6 million people voted and said yes. I don't think I've ever seen a poll on X where more than like 2 million people voted. Like, people are angry and desperate, and Donald Trump has been backstabbing everybody left and right. It's insane. I mean, Ian Carroll dropped an episode yesterday on Candace, and he really put it in perspective what the entire plan was. This whole Project 2025 the Democrats have been warning us about, they were right, because Donald Trump is putting this into motion super quick at warp speed. He's not wasting any time. But the way how they're just taking advantage of human carnage and human suffering to push through these weird agendas is sick. I just want to say, for the people who are depending on their instinct, who understand pattern recognition and who connect dots, you know, like when Donald Trump and Bibi had their little falling out and everybody went crazy. I mean, the Zionists went absolutely crazy. And obviously, and then other people were like kind of cheering it on, thinking that there was, you know, something good happening, that we were maybe making a turn for the better. And I took that opportunity to post an episode as a comfort episode to the Zionists, essentially, letting them know that Donald Trump did not turn on them, that it's all theater. Because you look at someone like Donald Trump and you watch his behavioral patterns for a very long time, and no one is changing their patterns at 80 years old. Donald Trump is not a humanitarian, and he never will be. He's using this genocide and trying to hide behind it to push this bill through. He's pretty much manipulating the loyalty of his base to make government bigger. And once it all happens, he's not going to care how upset they are, because they're not going to have any recourse. AI will shut them down. And there were MAGA people on X yesterday who were just like, I don't see anything wrong with that because we need to be competitive with China. Excuse me? You are literally saying I'm okay with unconditional algorithmic policing. My government told me that we're going to be competitive with China. Are you kidding me? When has your government ever told you the truth? When? Our government has been warning us about Russia, about China, about Iran, about North Korea. Meanwhile, our government has been false flagging the shit out of us for a very long time, and going to bed with our enemy who's been false flagging us. Also, our biggest enemy happens to be our own government. Actually, Ronald Reagan said as much in 1981 in his inauguration address, and other governments have done the same thing, including JFK. Our government is controlled by the military-industrial complex and the deep state, whoever they are, this deep state apparatus thing. So I don't understand where this MAGA insanity, blind loyalty is coming from. I understand the Zionists, they're a lost cause. They've been conditioned into psychopaths. I get it, but the MAGA people, what is it? Anyway, let me just... Sorry, guys. Let me finish the bill. Stop hijacking the bill. By the way, 0 conservatives were warning about this before the bill was passed. Why not? Either they didn't know or they were fine with it. And if America wants to defeat China, stop sending our meat to be processed there. Stop depending on China for our medications. China has killed too many Americans by sending deadly fentanyl into the US by the cartels. Make all our food and critical chain supply in the US and stop depending on China. Full stop. Instead, you know what our government has been doing to us? Mass poisoning us with pesticides and everything else. In fact, we have states who are actually passing liability shields for pesticide companies. Our biggest threat is our own government. So you really think they're telling us the truth about being competitive with China? Did they tell us the truth about the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, where we sent all of our soldiers to die for a foreign country? Did they tell us the truth when Israel bombed the USS Liberty? Have we been honoring the soldiers that died? Are we teaching that in school? Do we have big USS Liberty parades on Memorial Day or Veterans Day? Are we acknowledging what happened to our brave soldiers? No, because our government is always lying to us. Why did they lie to us about 9/11? Massive lie. Why did they lie to us about COVID? Massive lie. Why are they lying to us about vaccines? Massive lies. They're all lying. Why would anybody believe that we need unlimited, unconditional AI control in order to be competitive with China? Why? They've never not once told us the truth, including Donald Trump. Okay, let me get back to this. Didn't you learn anything from COVID? And now 2 Chinese agents snuck another biological weapon into Michigan. I don't know about that. Really? It wasn't us? I don't really know if I believe that it was leaked in China. I believe some of the people who've been saying that it got leaked right here in the United States and were blamed it on China. Stop dealing with China and put America first. And this I agree with. I voted for President Trump's big beautiful bill because it delivers his MAGA campaign promises, and he endorses the bill and wants Congress to pass it in order to fund his MAGA agenda. Do I love the price tag? No. But I want our policies funded. I campaigned across the country for years with Trump, more than any member of Congress, and the man never said he would destroy state rights for 10 years to let AI tech companies run rampant. Never. Sorry, that was me. Take it out or I'm voting no when it comes back to the House. I mean, we were making so much noise about this on X. Like everybody, we've been making a lot of noise about this. And it was because so many people were making noise that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie and everybody got wind of this because nobody actually really fully and thoroughly read the bill. They didn't know. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said that she didn't read the bill. And people got down on her for that. But honestly, I'm so happy that she was transparent about it and that she confessed that they didn't read the bill. She course corrected and addressed it right away. She didn't waste any time and she went to fight for us right away. That means that she's paying attention to her constituents. We can understand that our government representatives are human and there's a lot going on over there and maybe they don't have, and especially when Donald Trump tries to pull off a scam like pushing this bill in very, very last minute, as if everybody's going to have a chance to read 1,000 or how many pages of this bill. And I also think that he was banking on their trust in him, which is so slimy and scammy, so gross. But also kudos to Elon Musk for bringing everybody's attention to this bill. Even before Marjorie Taylor heard us, Elon Musk started talking about the bill and started saying, no, it's disgusting. There's too much junk in it and it needs to be redone. So he got everybody paying attention to it, everybody. And whether we all think that Elon Musk is being sincere or not, it doesn't matter. We need to capitalize on the opportunity that the attention that he's raising affords us and not let it go to waste. And a lot of the things that he's saying about the bill is being validated by Thomas Massie and everybody else that we trust. So I don't know if he's being sincere or not, but definitely he's being validated by people we trust. So right now, I'm sort of Team Musk. If you go back to my first episode, I was pointing out that Elon Musk was trying to warn us about AI, like an AI takeover 10 years ago. He's been warning us this whole time, and he's been consistently warning us time after time. It's really insane. Actually, he just warned us last year. So I'm really inclined to think that Elon is being as sincere as a billionaire can be, Whereas Donald Trump, he's been very consistent in his private life in terms of what he believes, in terms of what he wants America to be. But when he gets into politics, he flips. And he doesn't just flip. He flip-flops and flip-flops and flip-flops. And we all look at it as unpredictability, but I think it's just him having fun lying. Anyway, let's get back to the bill. And lastly, our debt crisis is out of control. The interest is growing now at $1 trillion per year and getting bigger. We can't cut our spending enough and grow our economy big enough to dig our way out of this deep, dark, all-consuming grave. We must create the American Sovereign Wealth Fund to save America. America has natural resources that are assets around 200 plus trillion that should be placed on America's balance sheet against our debt. It will erase the debt and ultimately pay the American people. Lay the foundation now before it's too late. I don't understand if Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know that the deep state and these people in charge do not want to save the American people. They want to imprison the American people. And I think they will stop at nothing to make sure that this happens. So even though we're all fighting right now, and it's I think we're fighting valiantly, I really do think that they will succeed because they will stop at nothing. I mean, look at what's happening in Gaza. They will stop at nothing. Look at what's happening with Russia and the Ukraine. Look at what's happening with Iran. They will stop at nothing. They literally want to raise the world to the ground. They want to burn it all down. And they want to imprison us all. So Thomas Massie came out today and gave us an alternative. He wants to entirely trash the big, beautiful bill, which I agree with 100%. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. And he wants to start over skinny. Every bill should be sold separately, not in this big, gunky, chunky thing. So he wants to extend 2017 tax cuts. He wants to end the Green New Deal cold turkey. Fine. No bloat for military-industrial complex. That'll never happen, but please, that would be great. No salt, no pork. Realistic border funding, serious Medicaid reform, $1 spending cuts for $1 new tax cuts. I don't really know what that means, but I'm sure lots of people do. So hopefully there will be a win for the American public. And no matter what people say about Elon Musk, if he didn't free the bird, in spite of how many people do not trust him and like really trash him on X, I don't think we would have been able to know or realize what was happening in this junky, porky, disgusting bill that Donald Trump tried to slide through. And had Elon caved to the Zionists, X would be dead. Most of us actually speak freely there. It's actually great. Anti-Semites, racists, terrible people, we're all speaking freely over there. I don't think I'm a terrible person. I don't believe I'm an anti-Semite or a racist, but when I say we, I mean the people who are not like that and the people who are like that. We're all speaking freely over there. And it's wonderful. I'm a speech absolutist and I want to hear everybody. I am not discriminating against anybody's ideas if it's reasonable. And even like, you know, I listen to people like Nick Fuentes, who I don't agree with like 90% of what he says, but he has valid points. He's a very smart, nuanced person. I'm just dropping an example of somebody that I listen to that I don't agree with, like mostly, but that doesn't mean I have to dismiss him completely. There is value in some of the things that he says, and especially the way that he presents it. It really stimulates your thoughts. And it, you know, it gives you a new perspective, which we all need new perspectives and not to be stuck in our echo chambers. So I definitely appreciate X. I appreciate Elon Musk. I think he's being sincere right now. At least that's what my gut is telling me. I think that he had an impression of Donald Trump and he decided to get to know him. He got close, and you know when you have impressions of people and then you get to know them and you get disappointed because you realize, oh God, this is scummy. And I don't know if Elon Musk ever imagined how scummy it can be in the White House. It's probably so ghetto in there, like so ratchet and ghetto. Just people and their petty shit and their condescension and their backstabbing all over the place. Oh my gosh. And maybe Elon Musk feels super duper backstabbed. And Donald Trump was hoping that, you know, he can get away with it the same way he gets away with everything because, you know, people love him so much, he backstabs them and then he turns around and says some like fun, cute thing and he thinks it'll just pass, you know? Elon Musk is probably like, fuck no. Elon Musk probably wanted to be humble and just let it slide and just, you know, wait it out. But then he's like, you know what? If I didn't free the bird and if I didn't bankroll a big chunk of your campaign, you wouldn't be here. Maybe he has a point. Yeah. So before I go, I actually want to play you this video from Thomas Massey, who gives us a little bit more insight on the big, beautiful bill and the liability shield that Donald Trump wants to give to Palantir and pretty much all AI companies.
I am prefacing what I'm about to tell you because I'm almost embarrassed to tell you this. I went back and read that provision of the bill knowing that you might ask about it on the show. And I found something I didn't find the first time. They say in that bill, not only are they going to override state laws, they want to override state or local zoning laws. Now, what does this mean? You know, when you think of AI, okay, well, we're not going to regulate the software that runs on somebody's computer. No, what they're talking about are these data centers that could be located in your neighborhood. And there's been a lot of contention over these data centers. I think that's what the real intent of this part of the bill is. You know, Facebook and some of these other big tech companies have met the not in my backyard, the NIMBY resistance in areas, and AI wants to make sure that they don't run into that. These data facilities can use a lot of water, use a lot of energy, and they don't want the locals telling them where they can and can't put these data centers. They're going to want the data centers closest to where the consumers are. And so you're going to have that tension. And I think, I know, I went back and read the bill before I came on your show. This specific part says that they want to expedite the zoning and the routing, that the reason they put this law in there is to expedite zoning and routing. Routing also is basically code for eminent domain, running those wires, you know, these big fiber optic cables through anybody's yard they want to. I think it's really dangerous to take that power away. This has been an issue in my congressional district, and the local authorities were able to get a planned data center relocated away from the residential neighborhoods, but they wouldn't have that power if this bill passes.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up this, what Thomas Massey is saying, because, I really think that if we can win this one, we still have a chance to fight for Gaza. We still have a chance to fight for our country. Because if they get away with this blanket immunity, they will shut us down. They will shut speech down. They will shut everything down. They will police us into oblivion. Algorithmically, they will just program it in and the AI will do the rest. They will silence us into oblivion. And Israel will be able to get away with all of this. If they pass this thing, there needs to be a revolution, really, because this is outrageous. And I think Elon Musk has a data center in Tennessee, and I think there's been a lot of beef about that. And so I'm sure Elon Musk wants to do this whole building the AI center, whatever, and probably wants the AI clause, maybe not a blanket immunity, maybe, I don't know, but I know that he has something, he's built something over in Tennessee, and there's a lot of contention about that. So I don't know where Elon stands on that, but at least he's not censoring the conversation about it on his platform. And he's keeping that conversation open. So we're going to do whatever we can. When I say we, I'm so new to this. I feel like I'm not doing anything. I feel like I'm not contributing much. But it makes me want to cry. But it makes me want to cry that I'm so late to the game because I have the energy and I have the passion, and I've just been so in the dark and so stupid. So utterly stupid. Anyway, this isn't scripted and I don't want this to go on forever, so I am going to go. But thank you so much for hanging out and just listening to Marjorie Taylor Greene's letter. And please, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, block out the Zionist noise. There, you cannot rationalize with them, so don't even try. It's just pointless. And if I don't see you in the comments, leave me a thumbs up to let me know that you're here. And I will see you. I can't wait to see you in my next scripted episode. Okay?